Hello, everyone. Welcome to Transparency Lifestyle Podcast, Episode 4 with Kashia Sharice. I want to welcome you all to this episode, which is one that I am still discovering. And this topic is something that I'm still learning to do. The topic is, who am I? Discovering yourself again. I want to start off this podcast by letting you all know I am going to be vulnerable, very vulnerable. And I've been vulnerable in the past. However, there are some topics that bring me to tears and that allows me to open up in a way that maybe you can relate to. I'm going to kind of broach this topic by going a little deep, going to and for me, going to the child, where I began to develop who I was as a child. As young as I can remember, for me was 4 years old. Who was the 4-year-old Kashia Sharice? What were the things that I liked to do? I know back then I loved learning. I wanted to go to school to learn and be around other children my age. I love to read books, even at 4. Looking through those pages with the pictures, the Dr. Seuss, I had the whole package. I love to read. I love to smile. I was a good child, a nice child, a kind child. I love playing with others, whether my cousins or whether friends that I met at school. I go back to that child. What did I like? I like riding my bike. I like playing hide and go seek. It. I like playing Twister and Operation and checkers. Those are some of the things that I liked when I was a young child. As I began to grow into my teenager years with all of the responsibilities that came along with me being the oldest, those things began to change. As I grew into a teenager, as I had already experienced a lot in my life, and going into my teenager years, the things that I like, I couldn't do. Like, I would have liked to be a part of a softball team at my high school. I even would have did cheer team. However, because of my responsibilities of making sure that my younger siblings were either picked up from school or taken care of after school, limited me on the things that I could do. There was a lot of self-doubt growing up because a lot of things I just thought I couldn't do. One, because of the things that were put upon me or told to me. Two, because of the things that I saw around me, in my environment and within my family. There were things that I knew I wanted to do with my life, but how to get there, I didn't know the path that I would have to take to get there and what that would mean, and the sacrifice that I thought I would have to give up, which was a piece of me, a piece of me. I sacrificed a lot. I sacrificed a lot of me, who I was, to others, that came in the form of people pleasing, pleasing others before me. Where did I pick that up at? Where did I think that it was okay to please other people before myself? It came from childhood. It came from my upbringing, and it came from the things that were ingrained in me over and over again from individuals in my life that were around me. There was a lot in my generation that we were taught to shut our mouth, taught taught to obey no matter what it was, taught to do as I say and not as I do, taught to it was so many things that were taught that has me now having to deprogram myself and reprogram a different version of myself. It made me, as a parent today, know that I was able to make changes in my parenting style so that my kids wouldn't have to experience that. So they wouldn't have to experience not knowing who they were growing up, because I preached and taught to them so much to speak their mind, no matter who it is, mother, father, sister, brother, teacher, or adult, in a respectable way, of course. I taught them to find the things that they like to do and that I would support them 100% in what they wanted to do. I encouraged them, I uplifted them. When they were frustrated, I comforted them and gave them different ways to look at the situation and how to approach it differently to have a different outcome. So I gave them tools to be able to work through problems or issues that may come up, whether at school, at home, or outside playing with their friends. Because I didn't want them to feel like I felt lost at times growing up of who was I, and gravitating towards people who were not good for me because I didn't know who I was. As I sit here at 49, yes, I'm 49 years old, and broaching the subject of who am I and discovering myself again, it just, it baffles me that at this age that I'm discovering who I am again. And the reason that I'm even at this stage or here in this moment is because I'm separated from my husband in the process of a divorce, and I'm starting over. That's why I'm here asking myself, who am I? When you think about rediscovering yourself, there are times in your life when this can happen, when you may think you know who you are, but then because of life's circumstances, you have to rediscover yourself. And it can be a divorce, a breakup, a death in your family, a career change, an age change, a major circumstance in your life that changes your perspective. Starting over again, becoming a new parent, and navigating that new life, getting married. Those are all things that can have you in this place of saying, I thought I knew who I was, but now I'm in the phase of discovering or rediscovering myself again because I got so caught up in that life, or because I was so dependent on a person or a career that I lost myself. I lost myself. I lost the things that I like to do. I lost the zest of who I was. I lost what I liked and what I didn't like. I lost it because I gave it up. I gave it up so easily to take on someone else's reality. Wow. As I'm talking, I'm getting epiphanies. And I'm like, wow, this is not only going to help me, but it's going to help you. Because as I'm self discovering myself, I pray that it also piques your brain, sparks your brain to ask yourself, do you know who you are? Have you been people pleasing for way too long? Have you lost yourself in that reality of what you call life? I know I did, and I'm 100% to blame for it. I can't blame anyone else. I can only look at myself in the mirror and say, you created that reality. You created that reality. So what reality are you going to create going forward? And that's when the question of how do I get back, not to the person that I used to be, but the person who I want to be. The questions that I have to ask myself to find the real me, and not one that was fabricated, or someone, or not the one that was created by someone else, or expectations placed upon or dictated of who I am, but really asking those deeper questions of that will get me to who the real me is. Who am I? Is what I'm asking. Who am I? Who is Kashia Sharice? Ask yourself and put your name in place. Who is blank blank? For me, it's who is Kashia Sharice. When I ask the questions, what do you like? What don't you like? What do you like, Kashia Sharice? What don't you like? I have already started writing down who am I, and asking the questions and putting the answers in my journal of what I like and what I don't like. Who I am. Let me grab that journal while it's right here, close by. Because I started the process of asking those questions of who am I? Because I wanted to start that process as soon as possible with being in a new place, of me being in a new place, literally in my own apartment by myself, going through this process of separating from someone that I've been with for 12 years, but known for 30 years. And knowing that I gave up a big piece of myself, knowing that I gave up who I was to fit into a reality that was minus the real me. Wow. It was minus the real me. Who was I then? That story has already been written of who I was then. That would take some sifting through to kind of ask more deeper questions. That one I would have to talk with my therapist with and coach, and with God, the one that created me. But because we have limited time, I am just going to kind of go through what I've written in my journal already of who I am, who I want to be going forward, who I am going forward. Not who I want to be, who I am, because I'm claiming it. 1, I love smiling. 2, I am silly. 3, I am business oriented. 4, I am connected to God and Jesus. 5, I am obedient to God. 6, I am creative. 7, I am loving. 8, I am kind. 9, I am joyous. 10, I am a great parent. 11, I am a good person. 12, I am a steward over my money. And I have so much more to write. I also wrote a message to God about the things that I want to come into fruition into my life. I'll just name a few. To grow closer, to get closer, to have a closer, stronger relationship with God. Be able to touch souls all around the world, youth and adults. To do God's will 1000%. That's just a few. I asked God for some other things that I won't get into because that's future. But just know that these are things that I'm working on, and I'm very serious about these things because as time is ticking and I will be 50 next year, before the time that I'm 50, I want to already be solid in who I am without any budging, without any compromise to who I am, standing 10 toes down on who I am and loving who I am. And that will be reality for me. When I get into finding out who I am, I also have to look at how am I taking care of myself? I've taken care of so many other people before myself. Where did I pick that trait up at? To take care of other people before taking care of me. That means that the majority of time I operated at a smaller percentage of who I was because I poured out so much to other people, whether it was my spouse, my children, friends, business, associates, job, that I didn't take time to care for myself. But I took time to care for others. That don't even sound right when I say it out loud. A lot of times I was tapped out. I was drained to the point I couldn't get out of bed sometimes, or I was drained to the point that I just operated on sheer what energy that I had gathered up from someplace. I just kept going and going and going and going as even others didn't care or didn't put forth effort to make sure that I was taken care of. But even I didn't put forth effort to make sure that I was taking care of myself. Whew, that right there is a realization. But that's what I used to be. That is not what I'm going to be going forward. My new reality that I'm creating is going to be one of God first, me second, my children third. And with me being after God, because God takes care of me, He protects me, He loves me, I would do things to take care of myself. So, what I'm going to do for the people that are listening on the streaming service, you can only hear my voice, but I have grabbed a vase and a notepad and a marker. And what I am doing is writing down things that I am going to write down and fold up and put in this vase of things, of self-care ideas, or things that I am going to do. So weekly, I am going to reach into this vase, and whatever I pull out, I am going to take care of myself. So I am going to, first thing I'm going to write down, I love going to a nice spa. There's a nice spa in Illinois that I go to called King Spa, and I love it. So I am going to put King Spa here, and I'm going to put Chicago. It's one in Chicago. I know it's one in Texas too. So whichever one I get to go to first, I'm going to put that there. And if I pick it during one of these times that I'm reaching in the jar, I'm going to put it to the side, and that's going to be one that I'm definitely going to do when I'm in one of those cities the next time. So this is the first one. I throw that in there. And this is going to start next week for me. The next one is I love mani and pedicures. I love going and sitting in that chair that vibrates and you're just sitting there letting them do your nails and your toes. I usually get some color that's neutral. I don't get a bold color, but maybe I'll try a bold color just because. So I'm putting that in there. And I want to make sure it's folded just right so it doesn't come loose. And I encourage you all to make one for yourselves too, men and women. You both can do this. This is a way to kind of start finding ways to take care of yourself. I love to get my hair done. There's one person that I have to book in advance, and then there's another person that I can go and probably get, even if I just get a shampoo and a blow dry. Those aren't expensive. I have someone I can go to get that done. So I'm going to put that in there. Let's see. A staycation. What is a staycation? It's when you go somewhere like a hotel in your city. And there's so many places to go in Arizona. Oh my goodness. They have the resorts, they have the hotels, and they're not expensive like that. One night, just do a staycation, Kashia. So I'm going to put that in there. Let's see. A spa. I definitely need to find a good spa out here. So I'm just going to put spa, and I'll research that later. But I want to encourage you all to do this as well. This is something that will get you back into taking care of yourself, right? I'm going to put brunch. And I'm going to take myself to brunch because I've been to brunch with other people, but I don't need anybody to go to brunch with me. I can go to brunch by myself and sit there by myself. Take yourself out. You don't have to always have a person there, a friend or the opposite sex saying, "Can I take you out?" No, take yourself out. Ask yourself out. I'm putting that in there. Brunch, movie. Go watch a good movie, Kashia. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing. And what I'm going to do is put like duplicates in there. I think that'll be fun. Put duplicates just to fill it up. But definitely do this at home. This is going to help you because it's going to help me to be able to get into that habit of self-care and taking care of myself, right? I'm going to put dinner on here too because I love going to Seasons 52, y'all. So I am going to put dinner, brunch, lunch. There's so many things you can do by yourself that you don't need an extra person, you know. If you like arcades, they have arcade places you can go to. Bowling, you can bowl by yourself if you want. Who says you can't? Bowl by yourself and increase your score. So when next time you go out bowling with friends, you can beat them. I'm gonna put bowling. They have the golf place down. Ooh, they got the golf place down here. I'm put golf. I forgot they had that. Golf, bowling. I'm gonna do it by myself. I don't need no second, third person to be with me. I can just take myself out and have fun by myself. I'll be up there giggling, y'all. You don't understand. I can have a good time by myself. You know, I think in the past I used to think that, oh, you want to go out or say, oh, I'm gonna go out with this person, have fun. You know, they want to go to brunch, they want to go this, they want to do they. No, going forward is me. And if someone says that you're selfish for thinking about yourself, you need to distance yourself from that person because they're trying to manipulate you so that they can get what they want from you. And we're not going through that anymore, guys. This is a new season. And I know that I am creating a reality of peace, love, joy, and me. And if you don't like the new person that I am, you can exit. And if I don't like the person that you are, I'm going to exit, just so you know. So I want to leave you all with something to think about. When it comes to finding out who you are and rediscovering yourself, this is not something that you rush through. This is something that you take your time with because there's so much that you've been programmed to think of who you are by other people, by society, by relationships that have told you who you are. But now it's time to really sit down, process, dig deeper to find the true you of now, not of yesterday, of now. So I encourage you to take that time by incorporating some of the things that I've shown you today and some of the questions that I have asked you. I encourage you to be on the journey of learning who you are and rediscovering who you are in this point in time and who you are going to continue to be going forward. And with that, I'm going to end this episode 4, titled, Who Am I? Discovering Yourself Again. And I am going to leave you with love, joy, and peace. I'll see you all next week.